Safe house. My place. No one knows about it. He glanced at her eyes dark. Unless you would rather I drop you at the Times building and pretend tonight never happened. Elena laughed, short and sharp. I stopped pretending 2 years ago. The safe house was the converted loft in Belltown, top floor of a building that looked condemned from the outside. Inside it was a sparse but expensive concrete floors to ceiling windows overlooking the rain-lashed city. A single leather couch facing a wall of monitors. Marcus locked the door behind them, killed the lights except for the blue glow of the screen. Elena peeled off her wet coat and hung it on a hook. The foils and drive she placed on a steel table like evidence at a crime scene. Marcus watched her from across the room, losing his tie, the movement slow and deliberate. "You are not afraid of me?" he said. It was not a question. "I am afraid of what I will become if I don't do this." She crossed to him, stopping close enough to feel the heat rolling off his body. "And I am afraid I might like what I become with you." He kissed her again, harder than this time. Coats hit the floor, her blouse followed his shirt. Skin against skin, rain still dripping from the hair. They did not make it to the bedroom. The couch took the weight of them both, urgent, almost violent, the kind of sex that felt like a confession and a crime at once. His hands mapped her like he was revising evidence. She left marks on his back that would bruise by morning. When it was over, they lay tangled, breathing harder, the city lights painting blue and gold across their bodies. Marcus traced a scar along her collarbone. "Where would you get this?" "Same place. I got the gun in my coat. Self-defense classes after Leela disappeared." She proposed herself on an elbow. "Your turn. How does a man look likes you and her this?" He started at the ceiling. "Army, special forces, then private sector. Turns out killing for your country pays better. But the country does not have to know the details. I was good at it. Too good." One day, the orders stopped coming from the Pentagon and started coming from men in $1,000 suits. I stopped asking questions until you. She believed him. That was the terrifying part. They spent the next 3 hours at a table, heads bent over the files. The drive contained everything: wire transfers, encrypted mails, a list of 12 victims, Leela included, marked acid liquidation. Helix Dynamics was not just a company. It was a laundering front for a consortium that included a sitting US senator and 2 tech CEOs who had publicly preached ethics. The disappearances were not random. They were execution of anyone who got too close to the money. Elena's hand shook when she saw her sister's final email. "They know. If I am gone, give this to someone who won't flinch." Marcus watched her. "We can't go to the cops, half of them on the payroll." "Then we go to public," she said. "My beeline?" "Your evidence. Burn it out all down." He was quiet a long time. "They will come for us, both of us." She met his eyes. "Let them." The first attack came at 4:17 a.m. Marcus' phone buzzed, one silent alarm. He was up and dressed before she could blink, pressing a pistol into his hand. Roof assessed. Now they climbed the first escape in the dark, rain still falling in sheets. 2 men in tactile gear were already on the stairwell below, moving with the quiet competence of professionals. Marcus moved like liquid shadow. One man went down with a silenced shot to the throat. The second got a knife across the windpipe before he could scream. Elena watched from the roof ledge. Gun steady despite the adrenaline roaring in her eyes. When Marcus rejoined her, blood on his knuckles, but none of it his. She did not flinch. "You are good at this," she whispered. "Too good." He wiped the knife on his thigh. "That's the problem." They stole one of the attackers' vans and drove east toward the Cascades, where the fog gave way to the pine and the kind of isolation that could hide two people who were not supposed to exist anymore. At a roadside motel outside Snoqualmie, who paid cash, registered under false names, and collapsed onto the same bed without bothering to undress. In the grey dawn light filtering through cheap curtains, Marcus traced the line of her spine. "We could run," he said quietly. "Disappear for real. I know how." Elena turned to fact him. "And let them win? Let them keep vanishing people like my sister?" He did not answer. Instead, he kissed her slow and deep, the kind of kiss that felt like goodbye, even while promising forever. They made love again, slower this time, rain pattering against the window like a metronome counting down. When they finished, he held her against his chest, heartbeat steady under her ear. "I have killed for less than what I feel for you," he murmured into her ear. "And I would kill a lot more to keep it." She believed that too. The story broke 3 days later. Elena's article, filed from a burner laptop in a Denny's outside Spokane, hit the Times website at 8 a.m. By noon, it was everywhere. Senator Harlan Reid was under investigation. Helix Dynamics raided. 2 CEOs in custody. The third, the one who would ordered Leela's vanishing, was found floating in Lake Washington the next morning. Office cause suicide. Elena knew better. Marcus read the coverage on his phone while they sat in a diner booth, rain streaking the windows again. He looked tired, but the sharp edges had softened somehow. "You did it," he said. "We did it." She reached across the table and lashed her fingers through his. "Public now, dangerous now." His thumb stroked her knuckles. "They will still come, not today, not next week, but eventually." Elena smiled, small and sharp and unafraid. "Then we will be ready." Outside, the rain kept falling, turning the parking lot into a mirror of neon and sky. Inside, two people who should never have met sat holding hands like it was the most dangerous thing they would ever done, because it was. Later that night, back in the motel that smelled of pine, cleaner and regret, Marcus stood at the window watching the tree lines. Elena came up behind him, slipped her arms around his waist. "Still thinking about running?" she asked. He turned, cupped her waist and kissed her once, soft. "Every second, but I am staying, for you, for whatever this is." She rested her forehead against his good. "But because I am not done yet. There's one more name on that list. A loose end." Marcus' eyes darkened with that familiar lethal light. "Tell me where." "Outside." The rain never stopped. Inside, the neon from the hotel sign painted their giant shadows in cold blue and blood red. And somewhere in the fog, another disappearance was already being planned. But this time, the hunters had become the hunted. They were ready. Thanks for watching. Follow for more.